I'm going to be talking about the moon and the sun is hitting me on the head. How about that? That's so funny. That sun will pass. It will come through the window for about 5 minutes. And this is free education. Yes, Michelle, I'm giving you free education. And the first thing I want you to know is, ready? The sun moves 1 degree a day. So every single day in astrology, we know if you're born, for example, on January 29th, we automatically know you're an Aquarian because every January 29th, the sun moves 1 degree around the sky every single day. Except when there's a leap year, it's got to move over 1 more degree. And so that's why the cusps always change. I don't know if any of you knew that. So people will say to me, I'm born on May 21st. Am I a Taurus or am I a Gemini? Well, if there was a leap year, it will be a different day that cusp will change. And then it will stay that way for those next 3 years until there's a leap year again, it'll go back. So it changes, the cusp changes, but the rest we always know based on where the sun is each day, where in the sky it is. And that's why astrology is based on my good friend, the sun, because it's so predictable and it's so consistent and it's so reliable and we know the constellations. The moon, on the other hand, every hour and a half moves a degree. So it takes 2 days for the moon to go through all 12 signs. It's kind of crazy. I think the sun shining on you is fortuitous, said Emily Reed. Thank you. So the moon is what we're talking about today, and the moon is a different conversation. The sun is, everyone knows your sun sign, and the sun moves 1 degree every, see, it already left. I love that. It's already moved out of the window. But the moon stays in one sign for 2.5 days, and those are the videos. If any of you who are new want to watch a free video every day to know where is the moon, and how do you know what its relationship is to you or what's going on in the sky, you can go on my Facebook page, Debra Silverman Astrology, and you'll see a free video every day where I talk about the relationship to the moon and you. Or you can join the star community, And that's a platform where people join for $22 a month. And you get all kinds of information on Star Community, or you can go to YouTube. Thank you, Ashley Reed. Or you can go to YouTube and get a free video every day of where is the moon. Where's the moon? Or on Instagram, who knew? So you can go to Instagram, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Facebook to get the free moons. And they're so helpful and they soothe your soul. There's Ashley Reed and Emily Reed. I think you guys should meet each other because both of your names start with a vowel and you both have Reed for the last name. That's so cool. Okay. I think so too, said Emily. All right, now back to the moon. So the moon describes, so the sun is the daytime influence that affects your ego, it affects your male side, it's your outgoing personality, and that is Essential Essence Astrology 101. Where's the sun sign? How is it influencing you? The sun tells you what to wear every day. The sun tells you what time to get up. The sun tells you what time to go to bed. The sun tells you whether you're going to have a beautiful day because the weather. The sun is a very powerful influence, as we all know. The moon, on the other hand, is the internal, it's the quiet, it's the dark, it's the nighttime, it's the internal experience that has to do with, excuse me, you got to go, Forrest. Thank you so much. She's right here, baby. Yeah. This is my good friend Forrest, and there's a million people in the room. She's just gonna wave. And she's playing cello downstairs. Hi, Forrest. That was very cute. That's the cute. She's adorable. She has, count them, how many children? And she's a Cancer, and she's ruled by the moon. And that's another big part of the moon is the mother. And the moon, okay, let's back up. So the moon is the internal temperature or the temperament that affects us at night. The sun is during the day, it's our outward ego. The moon is the secret world. It's the internal world. It's the emotional temperament that lives inside that we tend to be quiet about. Why is the moon the unconscious part? Because it's while we're sleeping. The moon is related to us through our sleep state. Does that make sense? Okay, so I want you to think sun sign, ego, and everyone has one. Raise your hand if you have an ego. Oh, look, everyone's raising their hand. There's 500 people in this room. But everyone has an internal moon world that's a secret. And the moon tends to be the private emotionally vulnerable, unconscious. Just think about the dream time is so much part of an invisible reality. So few of us remember our dreams. The moon rules your dream time. It rules the internal temperature, the way that your unconscious body, your unconscious mind has received the impression through nonverbal cues, through the inheritance of your family dynamics, through the quality of your dreaming and how you deal with reality. Because some people have very anxious dreams. Some people have beautiful dreams. People that can't sleep at night because the unconscious mind for you never takes a break. Your unconscious doesn't know how to relax. Is that why I'm fired up at night and can stay up so late? Leo moon, Leo rising. Yes, Cynthia, exactly why. You got it. So the moon talks about your internal world, the feelings that you have that live inside of you, that you can't always verbalize, that only show up, and here's how I teach. The moon is the indicator that if I push you, if I piss you off, if I push you up against the wall, if I get you upset, your subconscious, your emotional unconscious will show up through your moon. So we're going to go through all 12 of them. So there's a good one, Sharon. I've been chased and kidnapped for the last 40 years. That's your unconscious mind who is not at peace. And that's the emotional body. Just let me say this first. The emotional body is water in astrology. The moon controls the water on this planet. The farmer's almanac is described by whether the tides are coming up or coming down, and they can do that by the moon. The moon talks about your emotional temperature, your emotional temperament, the way that your internal, nonverbal, silent, unconscious body is operating. So I know that if I push you up against a wall and you're upset, you'll come back with your moon. So if you have a strong emotional body, for example, Melanie, Melanie has moon in Scorpio. So I know immediately that she's got a deep emotional realm. Or there's Veronica. She has a dream where she's in a car and the brakes aren't working. That is such an emotional dream. That is such the unconscious mind saying, my vehicle in life can't be stopped. And that makes you a little nervous, I would imagine. Everybody's giving me their moon. Okay, before we give us your moon, it's so cute. I love that you're all writing because there's now 600 people in this room and we've all got moons. Everybody here has a moon. Okay, where's my moon? I'm a Taurus. You can only find out where your moon is if you look under the bed in the left-hand corner of your bed, past the dark part where there's little what are those called? Bunnies, little dust bunnies. That's where your moon is. Just kidding. Okay, Erica, she thought that was funny. Where did I put my moon? You have the best sense of humor, said Dana. 28 degrees Virgo, said Kate Gordon. You're so cute, said Emily. Okay, back to the moon is not under the bed. No, the moon is in the depths of your unconscious where you can't see it, you can't verbalize it. It only gets triggered through unconscious doorways. The moon is the part in all of us that we can't put words to. Just think about how many hours a day we sleep. It's the weirdest thing. With the lights off, with our eyes shut, without our ego. The moon does not require an ego. So now here's the message number one. If you're going to be emotionally wise, you're going to start making your unconscious conscious. This is Carl Jung 101. His whole chart was ruled by the moon because he had 4 planets in the 4th house, which is ruled by the moon, which is ruled by Cancer. He was the voice of the unconscious. If you want the doorways to your unconscious, said Audra, what is the unconscious doorway? It is the first clue is your body, the unconscious. The moon lives in your body. If you're not paying attention to your body, you will not be emotionally intelligent. So you must start paying attention. If you're feeling sad, it will have started in your body first. The clues of the unconscious are not verbal. They're physical. They're emotional. They're sensations. They're triggered in a very subconscious way. We're not talking yet, Joan, about what degree the sun is in, or the sign is in, or what house it's in. That's way far down the line. But if you take the astrology class, of course, you're going to focus on the degree of your moon, the house that it's in, and the relationship. Right now, we're talking about for beginners and advanced students, because we got 600 people in this room. The moon is your unconscious, sensational, internal world that is waiting for your attention in order for you to be able to live a life called, ready, emotional wisdom. Very few people have emotional wisdom. Their emotional body, their unconscious mind is scared. It's the dreams we have when we can't talk, when we can't stop the car, when we can't get our voice, when we can't get our bodies to move. That's the unconscious emotional realm that unless you become conscious of it, it will control your whole life. Because guess what, kids? The unconscious mind is way more in charge than your conscious mind. You say, I want to go on a diet, your mind says it, and then your body goes, no, we're not. Eat the chocolate, eat the cookie, grab the potato. You're like, no, I just said I'm going on a diet. Eat the cookie. Because the unconscious mind always wins. It's the truth. So unless you take the unconscious mind and make it conscious and become a governor or a administrator, like you are here to administer your unconscious. That's why you study astrology. Once you're aware, when I became aware that my moon was in Aries, it was totally, completely being sabotaged by my Mars in Cancer, because there's a relationship between your moon and the other planets. So I have an incredible sensitivity on one hand, and I have an incredible temper, and I'm wild on the other hand. And the two of them, fire and water, cancel each other out. I had stomach aches all the time, and I never knew why. Because my unconscious mind, my moon in Aries, was like, I want to stand up and say what I'm thinking. But my Mars in Cancer was like, oh, no, you're not. You're not going to say what you're thinking. You're going to be quiet. So when the moon, when the unconscious mind, which everyone's moon, is being controlled, here's the deal. Wake up and hear this. Your ego, your sun sign, your personality is being pretending to be in charge. Well, guess what? Your moon's in charge. Your emotional body, the water, the unconscious rules this universe. People don't talk about this. You've solved my life. I have the exact same planets. That's good to know. So the first thing we're looking at today is the relationship between you and your unconscious mind. Now, we're going to start with the elements. If your moon is in water, and this is where my book, here's the first step. If you can't take our class called the Applied Astrology 101, because the doors are open only for a week, you can buy the book, The Missing Element, on my website, and I will help you learn what the elements are, because you have to discover. You can go find out, where's my moon? I found out it was in fire, and then I read the chapter on fire, and I go, no wonder I have a pushy, demanding, excitable personality, even though I didn't like it, because the moon is not comfortable. We do not know how to be emotionally intelligent. Until you study astrology and you learn about emotional intelligence, you learn about the moon, you're going to be a victim to this icky feeling. Let me describe what happens when the moon is not fully expressed. You have skin problems, stomach problems, physical ailments, number one, the moon. Any medical astrologer will say to you, tell me where your moon is, and I'll know how you process emotions. You will have an emotional feeling of loneliness, of disconnectedness, of inauthenticity. So it goes all the way from, where's my moon? What is the element it's in? How do I identify my natural, emotional, honest, authentic expression, to how do I let my body experience this without holding back? So there's the book. It's on the little link. You can see that, and I'll send you a hand-copied, signed version of the book. That's the precursor to taking the class, because you have to understand the elements. You cannot play astrology without knowing the elements. And the name of the book is The Missing Element. Okay, let's leave that over there. Back to the moon. If your emotional body is a secret, you don't want to talk about your feelings. You don't want to admit that you're sad, that you're depressed, that you're lonely. You don't want to talk about your disconnected appetite for being close to someone that's being, denied and deprived. You don't want to talk about your fear of your boss. You don't want to talk about you're scared your partner won't love. All those emotional conversations that are so embarrassing, because the moon is up at night, and the nighttime is where the secrets live, and the unconscious is embarrassed by the degree to which you feel. Any of that dilemma of not being able to feel will create physical symptoms. All the way from your body from illnesses, from stomach problems, from skin problems, from depression, all the way to psychological. I don't feel loved. I don't feel connected. I don't feel wanted. I don't know how to want. I don't know how to love. I only like my dog. Well, diabetes, they say, is specific to sugar and sweetness. So yes, if you can't handle sweetness because you're embarrassed, listen, the moon's invitation for everyone listening to this is emotional wisdom. Can I be emotionally honest? That's what I want you to write down. The moon's conversation is, can I be emotionally honest? Now, some of you, let's start and go through the circle. Feel free. Brilliant, someone said. I feel when I was younger, I let the moon run wild and yelled at it too much, so I tampered it down. I'm Gemini moon. Maria, that was so good. What would you say about sexual dreams, not making anyone uncomfortable, just wondering? It's the unconscious longing for connection. The unconscious, that's what all sexuality is an emotional, 100% moon energy is your sexuality. And this is what you're going to learn. If your moon is in, let's go basic for all you beginners. If your moon is in a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, you long for connection. You cannot live without feeling connected to either the dog, your mother, your partner, or a favorite song. You have to have emotional connection. If you don't, you'll gain weight, you'll drink alcohol, you'll oversmoke pot and overdo drugs, you'll escape. If the moon is in water and you're not being honest, it will somaticize by you feeling secretive, restrained, contracted, and alone. Okay. This is the moon in air. If your moon is in air, you have got to talk about your feelings, as embarrassing as it is, but you can't go on and on and on. You got no one to stop. And we're not there yet. Let's just start with starting. It took you 60 years to learn this, Gail, you're not alone. If your moon is in air, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, if you don't talk about your feelings, you'll detach. And you'll pretend you don't have them, and you'll walk away from them, and you'll just have friends, and you'll socialize, but you're not going to really be able to commit. This will be the symptom of moon and air without emotional wisdom. I can't be connected to someone. I can't commit to someone. I'm in a relationship for part-time, and then I come back out. I'm thinking of all the moon and air people I know. I think I'll drink to that. Oh my God, she made it way too strong. She's a crazy person. Whoa! Apple cider vinegar, beep, beep, beep. The moon in air is someone who drinks. That's funny. I was getting distracted. The moon in air is someone that talks. Instead of feeling their feelings, they talk about them. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you talk about your feelings, without an honest experience of them, you just disconnected. So if the moon's in water and you secretly feel, but you're becoming withdrawn and contracted and you alienate and separate yourself, if your moon is in air, you talk about your feelings. It's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You talk all the time, but you can't really be disclosing the truth of your vulnerability. You can talk, but you can't say, I'm lonely, I'm sad, I'm scared, I miss you, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Write those down. I'm lonely, I'm sad, I'm scared, I miss you, I was wrong, I need you. I made a mistake. Any of those emotions that can be used by your ear to actually find a way to speak to your feeling, freedom. The unconscious became conscious. You weren't dancing and skating around it. You spoke to it. If your moon is in Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, here's the deal. Ready? You don't want to deal with your feelings. You want to organize them, fix them, clean them, make them practical, figure out a solution, and you jump right over the unconscious mind into a practical expression. And that has a side effect. That's my mom, said Camber. So if the moon is in earth signs, you're going to distract yourself with a practical and not feel your feelings. And here's the secret, write this down, 644 people. You have to feel your feelings to liberate yourself this life to being an authentic, alive, lovable human. We are mostly water. This body is 70% water. The planet is blue. The moon rules this universe. It takes the tides up and down. We deny it because it's in the night and it's dark and it's quiet and it's unconscious. But not if you're studying astrology. I help you make your unconscious conscious. You want to write that down? Astrology makes the unconscious conscious. You take the astrology class and all of a sudden you go, oh my God, all these years, my husband was a nonverbal person because his moon's in Scorpio and he never told me what he was feeling, and now I understand him. I'll drink to that. Okay, now let's do moon in fire. Aries, Leo, or Sag, you don't avoid your feelings, you just get pissed off. You let your feelings come so fast and so hard that you're impulsive and you're reactive and you're dramatic and you throw up on people and you say shit that no one should have said, and it's too late after you say it because you lose your temper. The opposite of moon in water, of course, moon in fire is the opposite of water. If the moon's in water, you're like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not telling them what I feel. I'm not going to express myself. I'm going to hold my feelings in and just go home. I'm not even going to be around people. Moon in fire is woof, woof, pissy, 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 making me mad. That makes me so angry. Well, that's helpful. That's a really good way to deal with your unconscious emotions. So the moon is very influential as a singular energy. You want to bark with me? Woof, woof. The neighbors are looking. If the moon is in water, it's tears. You cry for no reason. You can't even talk. You just reclusively go inside and you don't share and you become secretive even with yourself. The moon in water doesn't even tell anybody what they're feeling. The moon in air, they don't stop talking, but they don't tell you what they're really feeling. They talk about the weather, they talk about the signs, they talk about the movies, they talk about the neighbors, they talk, but they're not being emotionally honest because they can't hook up their mind with their unconscious. It just talks. If the moon's in earth, your cat's ears went up, Pamela, when I barked. If the moon's in earth, you don't do your feelings, you do practicality and try to solve the problem before you even felt your feeling. I tried to share my feelings with my husband all the time, said Moon in Cancer, but his Sagittarius, he lashed out at me, hurt me, said horrible things that no one should ever say. Welcome to fire. Rebecca, she wants me to say more about the earth because she feels like I glossed over it. Every earth person wants you to be very thorough when you do earth. That was funny. Rebecca. Okay, so if you're over-analyzing, said the moon in Virgo, the moon in Taurus, the moon in Capricorn, because you're trying to calmly produce a feeling of stability rather than honestly disclosing your feelings. This is the short answer for anyone's moon. Ask yourself this question right now in this moment. Ready? Stop for a moment. I want you all to stop. What am I feeling right now? And now put your attention on your body. I want you to let your body, because the unconscious mind operates through your body. Let's just stop for a minute. What am I feeling in my body right now? My body is feeling very alive, and I'm feeling fiery. My emotional body right now is fired up. Cynthia. Oh my God, I was a fireball as a child. I didn't even cry at my brother's funeral. I just got pissed off. Deborah, it's taken me 30 years to realize this. Okay, that's beautiful, Camber. She feels balanced. Dana's feeling depressed. Nancy's feeling excited. As Earth, I don't want to feel, said Emily Reed. Strongly disliking Capricorn mom who withheld love and affection because her moon was cut off. I'm tired and exhausted. I'm depressed. I'm thankful, a peaceful joy, a little anxious for unknown reasons, Lynn. That is exactly why you want to take this class. If you don't start learning about your emotional body, this is the simple single doorway to the value of astrology. It's not just the moon in astrology, it's making the unconscious conscious. I'm cold, is that a thing? I feel sick. Oh, I'm sorry, Erica. Emily Reed, please take this class. As you heal yourself, you heal the universe. That's so beautiful. I'm not living up to my potential and it scares me, says Melanie. I started crying and I don't know why. Because I'm activating your moon. I want all of you to know that if you don't, listen, if I had to tell you what's given me the greatest pain in my lifetime, it's my moon. My emotional body misinterpreted depression as something was wrong. My emotional body interpreted rejection as a personal affront to my entire existence. My emotional body felt loneliness as though it was a place I was going to live for the rest of my life. My emotional body felt like I didn't really have family and I never would and I'd be alone. These are the interpretations of the moon when it's not in its wisdom body. The moon can very easily misinterpret and translate everything personally. The moon is the backdrop of your unconscious mind. Why can my text not be seen by Debra? I can see your text. Difficult for me to know what I feel instantly. Moon in Aquarius, thank you very much. So you must make a practice, especially if your moon's in Gemini, Libra, or Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You must make a conscientious effort, not so much Taurus. You must make a conscientious effort. If you're taking my class, you're going to learn what, I wish every single one of you in this room took my astrology class. It's up, the card's open for how much longer, Carrie?
February 5th.
And what's the date today?
The 29th. So I think like less than a week.
Okay, so in the next week, I want you to think about this. We have lots of programs where you can pay. It's like paying for, what's $250? An astrology reading. Instead of getting an astrology reading, that's once a month. You pay that once a month for 4 months. Instead of getting an astrology reading, you learn your chart. I can't even tell you the expression of your moon, the freedom of your emotional body when it's allowed to be honest. Part of our tribe, and I know that Carrie can attest to this, part of our tribe is that we've gotten more and more comfortable being ourselves. So let's do it once more. The moon in water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you feel so deeply that your emotional body escapes and skates over frozen ice and doesn't really want to feel the feeling, so you retreat. The moon in Taurus, the moon in Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you talk and you detach and you pull away from your feelings almost to the point where you cut off your feelings and you neglect the wisdom base. Instead, you go into the mental base, and that creates a really busy mind as compared to the water people who are retreating and living by themselves in secret and don't want to be around people. The moon in Earth, Taurus is the most comfortable placement. It's called exalted. You'll learn that the moon has better placements to be in to get to access their unconscious, and other places where they just hide out. But Virgo and Capricorn is very difficult because you cut your feelings off. You'd rather not feel them. And so moon and Earth people, the handicap they have is they take their emotional body and they move it into work, and they focus it and they cut it. It's like those moms that aren't very sensitive. I think my moon is part of my problem with money. It's in my second house. You said we weren't talking about that, but, said Melanie, I'm worried to spend money because I can't make it. I block the flow of money. Well, that's a perfect conversation for taking this astrology class. The astrology class, honestly, and you get your money back after the first week if you don't feel a result, because the first week in the astrology class, we give you a homework assignment to get those blocks released. That's what you learn in level 1 in applied astrology. What in my emotional body is preventing me from moving? If it's Earth and you're so worried about money and you're fixated, you're going to have to learn to put your attention on some other element. Okay, just learned that my moon's in Capricorn. However, I embrace my emotions and express them easily. Well, Connie, that means you've got your unconscious mind flowing. It doesn't mean if the moon's in Earth that you can't feel it. It just means that there's some work to be done. And if the moon's in fire and you're impulsive and you're reactive and you jump at anger, or you find yourself saying things and you push your emotional body onto others, that is a big fat turnoff, as we all know. Can you hear the cello? It's not just the birds, it's the cello. The class starts when, Carrie? Can you give them information?
Yeah, it starts February 18th, level 1 does.
It's once a week for an hour and a half on this platform, Zoom. Just you and 10 other people, 9. There's a small class. We don't do big classes. There's a mentor, and she studied your chart. So up comes your chart on the screen. Carrie, can you show us a chart? And then the cost is $1,000, but it can be broken down to $250 over a period of time, a month. This is what a chart looks like. So on this, there's a chart right there. That's so funny. It's your 3 planets in the 3rd house, including your node. I always think of your 3rd house. Okay, so this is what a chart looks like. You're going to see it for the first time. The mentors are people I've trained vigorously. There's very well-trained mentors. You pick a time. This is a chart. You put your birth date, time, and place, and up comes your chart. And if we look, can you point to your moon? There's her moon. And if you go over to the left in the box in English, her moon is in Pisces. And then you Google Pisces and you go, oh, it's water. And when you know that Carrie has moon in water, as soon as we know Carrie's moon's in water, we know that she is hypersensitive. Right, Carrie?
Right.
Wasn't that the liberating truth that you found out when you took the class, Carrie?
Yeah, definitely. Learning about my moon was the most powerful.
Because look at her moon. See, show us how right next to her moon is Mars sitting on her moon. There was no way that Carrie could not study her moon. She had to get involved with her sensitivity because the moon's in water. So this class today is not me telling you about the modalities or the house they're in or how. I'm simply giving you as a beginner, there's all these people in the room. There's 3 options here. One is you buy the book, The Missing Element, and you just figure out what element is your moon in. 2, these are the cheap versions. That's the cheapest version. That's $20. 2, you go on to the Star Community and you become a member of an organization where every week you learn, every day, where's the moon. 3, and the one that's only available twice a year, now for the next week and then next in September. We only have the school opening twice a year. So you're in a very auspicious moment, those of you in this room, to come study astrology, because you can't learn this from me in the school unless it's the time when the card is open, which is in September and in January, the card is open. So please sign up for the class if you're interested in learning about your unconscious mind represented by the planets operating through your silly psyche, that everybody's is twisted. We're all nuts. You have to be crazy to get onto this planet. This planet is completely crazy. It's holy, it's magical, but it's so painful. I was watching a great film by Pope Francis, In His Words. It's a documentary. Oh my God, it's made my heart sing. It's just made me so happy watching that. So I think we're just about done. Let's see. You can only guess this moon in Aries. Cannot wait for you to start signs. Let me just do it really quick for you. For those of you that were patient enough and stayed here. The moon in Aries, you are an impulsive, very physical expression for your moon, and you must stay in your body and express yourself to get emotionally honest. You've got to stay in your body and tell the truth. I'm feeling this right now, and it's so strong, and please forgive me if I'm mean. I didn't mean to. Moon in Taurus. I'm so solid and stable. Lean on me. And I will tell you when I feel close and safe how much you matter to me, because my moon's in Taurus, and while I'm stable, I can pretend at times like I really don't have anyone that I need. So I must be honest, emotional, said the moon in Taurus, to admit that I need you. Moon in Aries has to be physical. Moon in Taurus needs to admit they need you. Moon in Gemini. I am so interested in being able to share my thoughts with you, but please help me tell the truth. I'm sad. I'm lonely. I made a mistake. I need you. I'm afraid. I miss you. I'm sorry. Anything your moon in Gemini can use those words, those sentences, you're going to get emotionally honest. Moon in Cancer. I want nothing more than to take care of you, but please remember me. I need you to take care of me too. And if I don't admit that I need it, I become reclusive because I'm too embarrassed to admit how much I need you. And that's a real art in Moon in Cancer, to not just take care of the other and feel and cry, but actually verbalize your needs. Moon in Leo. Jennifer, this is for you. I am so excited and so delighted to be alive, and I'm so happy you're in my life, and I need attention. I know it's embarrassing to admit, but if I don't tell you out loud, I need you to compliment me or give me some feedback or tell me I look good. You got to tell your partner, your best friend, please give me some feedback and I'll be so much happier. If my emotional body does not get fed, I just pretend I'm this big fat personality, but I'm really starving. Moon in Virgo. I spend a lot of time picking at you, and I know it's because I care. I want you to understand it's because I serve you that I'm doing this. But what I really need from you is permission for me to make a mistake. Can you help me make a mistake? Can you help me feel less criticized by myself? Can you let me be honest enough to admit that I'm scared or lonely? Because I will never talk about that, Moon in Virgo, but I want to. Moon in Libra. I can't make a decision for the life of me. I want to, and I'm going to be honest about this. I get really waffly in my relationships because sometimes I'm in and sometimes I'm out, and I want permission to be able to say out loud, I really do want to be in. I do want to make a decision. I do want to commit. I just don't know how. I need help. Moon in Libra. I love my beauty and my art. It's my easy part. But what's hard for me is the full-on commitment to stay true and not get caught in my ambivalence. Please help me. Moon in Scorpio. Oh my God, I really don't want to tell you this. This is my secret land, and it's just embarrassing, but I am so attached to you. You can't tell by looking, but I want to admit it out loud. My Moon in Scorpio is going to do a big step right now and say out loud, I am in love with you, or I need you, or I want you, or please don't ever misinterpret my pretending and my nonverbalness to be anything less than what it really is, which is, I do that because I'm scared how much I like you. That would be so cool for a Moon in Scorpio. Moon in Sag. I can't help it. I came here this life to wake you all up and say things that no one else can say, and I'm really, really happy. It's just bizarre. And when you're sad and I'm not sad, please forgive me because I can just change my mood if you give me information. Otherwise, I'm always happy and always pretending, and I have this crazy philosophical self that just takes everything to the high road. Please help me be real. If you would just say to me, please tone it down, I will, but don't judge me. Moon in Capricorn. I got this. I'm listening to Debra. I'm taking the class. I am organized. I've got the money. I'm going to study the class material. It better be good. If it's not going to be good, I'm going to let her know. My Moon in Capricorn wants to say, I want to learn about emotions. I just need you to give me a book. I'll buy the missing element. I'll take the class. I will study the moon. Just don't judge me because I'm busy judging you. Moon in Aquarius. Ready? I love this astrology stuff. I feel like it's really interesting. I'm only using the word I feel because Deborah's going to tell me to use the word I feel, but I don't really feel. I honestly don't understand this human experience, and the emotional body is kind of foreign to me. So if you would just help me by understanding that I'm trying to love and like and be a human, but my emotional body is not like yours. So if you would let me be different, I could get close to you. But if you try to make me normal, we're going to have a problem. Moon in Pisces. I love so much, especially my partner, my animals, and my family, but it's hard for me to talk. So what I'm going to do is be quiet, take the class, study, and just have my own secret world. And I don't want to be interrupted, but I do want you to come in. So my invitation for you, said Moon in Pisces, is the people I'm close to, you need to know. I may not say it all the time with my words, but I want to write you a love letter. That's Moon in Pisces. I'm going to go get a Hallmark card. I am going to give myself permission to have a tear in my eye as I say to you, I am so happy to be alive and have you in my life. I just want to say it once. Maybe I'll write you a love letter. All right, there you have it. The Moon in 12 Signs, brought to you by Debra Silverman. 45 minutes in, we're done. Thank you very much for being here. I love the Pisces too. You can do payment plans for level 1. It's only open twice a year. This is not an ongoing movie. We have it for the next week. You sign up by writing to what, get it? Write this down. Apprenticeship, one word. Apprenticeship at 3 words. DebraSilvermanAstrology.com. Thank you, you guys.
The easier way to sign up is to go to DebraSilvermanAstrology.com/applied astrology. And I just put the
I'm
link
so silly. Okay, well, it's good because it was the last thing I said. AppliedAstrology.com.
No, DebraSilvermanAstrology.com/applied astrology.
Don't listen to me. What do I know? I signed up. Thank you so much. Took level 1 session and it was the best thing I ever did, said Martha. Dana, love you, Deb. Katrina, you're such a joy. Can't wait